Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Dasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Good evening, everyone. Last week we talked about a precept, right? A precept. And also Uposatha day. Uposatha days. According to Uposatha Sutta, actually we have two Uposatha Sutta, right? One in chapter 3 and another one in chapter 8. According to Uposatha Sutta, Buddhist Uposatha day is not just observing precept, and also practicing mental purity, just like developing, the chanting, the quality of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, right, etc. So practicing mental purity as well, just like a meditation, right? Normally, when we are talking about full moon, new moon day or Uposatha day, we think that come to temple and take precept, right? So actually Uposatha day is not just taking precept, it also practicing meditation as well, right? Bhavana. If we look at Uposatha Sutta. So the main purpose of observing Uposatha is to live close to wholesome deeds, right? So it here wholesome deed means Dana Sīla Bhavana, right? Dana Sīla Bhavana. So that we are learning, right? So today will be the last day, so we will finish the first two topics, right? Dana and Sīla. So next year we will talk about Bhavana, meditation, right? So here, when we are talking about Uposatha, we are trying to live close to wholesome deed, right? Wholesome actions, kusala. Last week we talked about entertainment, just like music and dancing, right? So here, as a Buddhist, I think it's very important to understand. So as a Buddhist, so you can enjoy music, you can dance, right? Anytime. But when you are observing a precept, you have to refrain from dancing, music, and also the beautifying yourself, just like applying makeup, right? Using perfume. So the other time it's all right, right? It's all right. But if you are taking a precept, here, Uposatha means any day can be Uposatha. Suppose as a Singapore, I think as a Singapore context, I think every Sunday will be Uposatha day for us, right? Because every Sunday people came here and keep precept and do a lot of meritorious deeds, right? So every Thursday you come to class, so you are doing good deed, right? So at least every Thursday night is Uposatha for you, right? So you are observing, you are especially learning and teaching is considered as a meditation, right? So we are trying to purify our mind by learning, by teaching, by learning, right? So this is a Uposatha. Any day, if you are doing good deed, if you are living close to wholesome deed, meritorious deed, that can be Uposatha for you, right? Uposatha for you. as a Buddhist monk, of course, music, any type of entertainment have to be refrained from, right? We have to refrain from any type of entertainment, music, video. As I earlier said that, even go to how to say the national parade like this, right? So we have to, as a Buddhist monk, as a samanera, as a monk, so we have to refrain from all these entertainments, right? Music, dancing, etc. Well, we have to understand in this way, right? People cannot lead pure life every day, right? For that reason, so they choose a special days to do meritorious deed. For that reason, the concept of Uposatha came in. Any day that you determine to do good deed, that you determine to meditate, to go to meditation retreat, right? So meditation retreat can be Uposatha for you. You cannot lead pure life every day. For that reason, we choose a special day for us. Normally here in our temple, full moon and new moon days. So people normally they do not forget. Every full moon and new moon day they come. So that is Uposatha for them. Some people they come every Sunday. So that is Uposatha for them. That is the concept of Uposatha in Buddhism. So in this way, observing precept, listening to the Dhamma, practicing meditation on those Uposatha days. It can be Sunday, it can be full moon, new moon day, right? So on those days we perform meritorious deeds. So that is the concept of Uposatha in Buddhism. Very meaningful, right? Very meaningful. So as the Buddha said that, so when we are doing good deed in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, that is a auspicious day. Auspicious days. So any moment that you are doing good deed, that is Uposatha for you. But it is very important to take note that doing good deeds, right? Doing good deeds, only Uposatha day is not enough. You have to do wholesome deed anytime. So that is actually meaning of Uposatha. Taking precept from a monk is just like a buying an air ticket. Just like a buying an air ticket, right? You buy an air ticket. If you do not go anywhere, your air ticket is useless, right? For that reason, only if you take the flight, you will get to the desired destinations. So, as a Buddhist, you will come to temple and you take precept from the monks. So that is just like a buying an air ticket. If you do not use that ticket, it's useless, right? Waste of money. Just like that, you come and keep precept, repeat after the monks. So you are not observing precept. You do not control your bodily and verbal actions. But so taking precept is useless. So I think that is very important. I don't know here. I think here also you have that mindset, especially Buddhist countries, the people in Buddhist countries, they think that repeating after a monk, it is called Sīla, right? Observing Sīla. It is not so. So you take, you promise to keep precept by repeating after the monks, right? So what you have to observe precept, you have to practice. So that is the meaning of Sīla. Actually, this is not my idea. So then I forgot one of the monks, he gave example of buying a ticket, a train ticket. So I just change a little bit to suit Singaporean Mind. So buying a ticket, air ticket. If you do not use it, useless. Then you keep precept by repeating after the monks. So that is just like a keeping precept, taking promise, right? You promise and you determine to observe a precept or 5 precepts, right? Any question up to now? No question, right? Okay, let's go to next one. Next one is a commentary 8 precept. So the 8 precept that we have learned, we can call it canonical 8 precept. So actually that is mentioned in the Suttas. So in the Pali Canon, for that reason we can use it canonical 8 precept, right? So here, what we are going to learn is the commentary 8 precept. So that is mentioned in the commentary, especially Visuddhimagga. For those who want to know further, so you can read the Path of Purification, chapter 1, page number 27. Sorry, not page number. This is the chapter 1, paragraph number 27. Chapter 1, paragraph number 27. So you can read canonical 8 precept. Visuddhimagga mentions another type of 8 precept for lay devotees, especially for lay devotees. It's called Visuddhimagga Sīla. Visuddhimagga Sīla. So that means the Sīla that has livelihood as the 8. So the Sīla that has livelihood as the 8th. We can call it a precept, commentary a precept, right? Commentary is precept. So it is very similar to the virtue of the purity of livelihood for Buddhist monks. So Aji what Parisodhi Sīla, Aji what Parisodhi Sīla. As a Buddhist monk, so we have to try to pure our livelihood, not to use wrong means of livelihood. So very similar, right? Very similar. So here, Visuddhimagga mentioned 8 precepts for lay devotees. So number 1, I undertake the precept to abstain from distraction or light, not to care. Number 2, not to steal, right? Taking what is not given. Number 3, to abstain from sexual misconduct, kamesu mechachara. But here, not refraining from any type of sexual relationship, just sexual misconduct. You can live with your spouse, right? You can live it. So I undertake the precept to abstain from sexual misconduct. So last week, one of the students approached me and asked a very important question. Sometimes she might want to observe a precept, but she lives, so how to say that? She lives in with her husband. So if she take out that precept, is it possible? You know, in the 8 precept, canonical 8 precept, so for those who are observing a precept, so they have to refrain from any type of sexual activities, right? Any type of sexual relationship. But she wants to remove that precept on that day, right? Then I told her, of course, why not? Yes. It's perfectly all right. So she can observe 7 precepts, right? I think for those people, I think this 8 precept is a second choice, right? Second choice. So here, you can live with your family perfectly all right, as long as you are abstaining from sexual misconduct. Stay perfect. Number 3, abstaining from sexual misconduct. And number 4, abstaining from false speech. Number 5, up to number 4 is similar to up to number 4 similar to 5 precept, right? Similar to 5 precept. Number 5, abstaining from slandering. So actually we have learned that slandering, using divisive speeches. Number 6, abstaining from hard speech. You are not using unpleasant speeches. Number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7, abstaining from idle chatter. These are 4 unwholesome verbal actions, right? 4 unwholesome verbal actions. Then number 8, I undertake the precept to abstain from wrongly sought livelihood. So on that particular day, when you are observing a precept, you refrain from any type of wrongly sought livelihood. So here, Maicha Jiva is a wrongly sought livelihood. Just like in your job, you tell lie, right? You tell lie. In your job, you use unpleasant speeches. In your job, you slander. So that is a wrongly sought livelihood. So according to Abhidhamma, so if you are telling lie, if you are slandering, so if you are using harsh speeches, when you are using idle chatter, and when you are doing 3 types of bodily actions, unwholesome bodily actions, so that is called wrongly sought livelihood, right? Wrongly sought livelihood. So that is a 8 precept. Okay, question. Please use the microphone.
Bhante, I refer to the question that you mentioned just now, a question put up by one of the devotees. Now, she says that you live with the family, you have a husband or you have a wife. Now, here the precept here is misconduct, sexual misconduct. So, if it is the sexual conduct between legally married couple, it should not be a misconduct. So, I don't think it's breaking a precept.
I mean, in canonical
can't expect them to be celibate if they're already married.
I mean, canonical 8 precept. So one of the precepts is to refrain from any type of sexual contact.
Sexual misconduct.
No. Any type of sexual relationship, whether it's misconduct or contact, you have to refrain 100%.
Refrain from all kinds of sexual behavior.
Yeah. Not only sexual activities, if you can, even bodily contact. Bodily contact, right? Bodily contact. So we are talking about canonical 8 precept, right? But here, this one is a commentary 8 precept. So 8 precept that is mentioned in the commentaries. So according to this commentary 8 precept, you can live with your husband, with your wife. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. But if you are observing canonical 8 precept, total refrain from any type of sexual activities. I think that is a very important different, right? Very different. Okay? So when you are observing this canonical 8 precept, you can live with your family perfectly all right, as long as it is not sexual misconduct. Okay? But here, number 8. So when you look at this commentary 8 precept, it's very meaningful, I think, right? Very meaningful. It is combination of 3 type of refraining from 3 type of bodily unwholesome actions and 4 type of verbal unwholesome actions. Plus, number 8 is a refraining from wrongly sought livelihood. So that is a commentary a precept. According to this precept, legal sexual relationship, all right. Okay. Then regarding with the unrighteous wrong means of livelihood, I want to show one example. So that is often quoted. So when we are talking about wrong means of livelihood, the Buddha said in Anguttara Nikaya, bhikkhus, a lay follower, should not engage in these 5 traits. Number 1, trading in weapons. You should not engage trading in weapons. Any type of weapons that kill sentient beings. Here, very important, the Buddha used nakaraniyo, should not engage. If you wish, you can do so. But the Buddha said, should not, right? As a Buddhist, as a lay follower, should not engage in these 5 traits. Trading in weapons. Number 2, trading in living beings. Here, living being means earlier we have a how to say slavery, right? Slavery. So people, they bring slaves from Africa and say in the Europe and America. So that is a trading in living beings, and also nowadays we can call it human trafficking. So shouldn't engage in human trafficking. But if you are doing as an agent, you take some some money for your service, okay. But here, human trafficking, unrighteous traits. Number 3, trading in meat. You shouldn't sell, as a Buddhist, you shouldn't sell in meat, right? But here, I think, Mecha Waneja, I think that doesn't mean just selling meat, but you kill animals and you sell it. I think just like, I think in that way, right? If you are selling and buying from the shop, I think it doesn't matter. But literally, trading in meat, it can mean everything, right? If you are selling meat, it can be unrighteous traits. Number 4, trading in intoxicants. We shouldn't sell alcohol as a Buddhist. You shouldn't sell alcohol. Actually, regarding with the alcohol, Sri Lanka is very strict. So they strictly prohibit selling alcohols. For that reason, when you go to Sri Lanka, you will not see so many beer shop or so many alcohol shop. As a Buddhist, so I think they are very strict in that. So there are many Buddhists who have a concept that they don't want to sell intoxicants, not only drugs, but also liquor, alcohol, any type of beers, right? So that is considered trading intoxicants. Then number 5, trading in poisons. You shouldn't say poisons. So these are examples of unrighteous traits that you should avoid as a good Buddhist. But if the Buddha just used, you should not engage. You should not engage. So that means it's up to you. You decide. So as a good Buddhist, not to engage all these 5 traits. So that is, if you engage all these 5 traits, that is considered as a wrong means of livelihood. I think that's very easy. For those who want to know, go and read. Question? Okay, only one question in this topic, because we have to go. We have to study a lot.
Sorry, Bhante, I'd like to go back to the previous slides on the 8th precept.
Okay.
We are talking so far on bodily actions and verbal actions.
Yeah.
I just want to take one step further on the mental state. For example, while you are taking the 8 precepts on a certain days, and you also watch violent movies or romance stories and all that, should you also refrain from that in order to purify your
Watch a
state?
movie?
Yes. Should you refrain on that to also purify your mind at a point in time?
I mean, even watching movie, listening music, already there. In the canonical 8 precept, you have to refrain from any type of entertainment.
Okay, thank you.
So I think that is you control your ear, you control your eye. That is called Sīla, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank
So
you.
through Sīla, you can purify your mind. You're right. It is already there. Okay. Okay, so any question regarding with these unrighteous traits? Okay, okay.
Hello, Bhante. I'm
Yeah.
not sure whether 2005 years ago there are anything like cigarettes. So in this poison, is cigarettes include in poison in this present era? Thank you, Bhante.
Secret should be under intoxicants. I think selling secret is still considered a light offense. May not be very heavy one, right? Of course, if you do not sell secrets, the best. And many Buddhists in the Buddhist countries, they are very strict. Suppose you hire your house, and they strict not to sell those intoxicants, poison, and they just allow even if they rent their house and their apartment, they have a rules and regulations. You don't have to sell alcohol, beers, so even the secrets, right? I think secret should be under intoxicants. We have to decide whether secret make you unmindful or heedless, right? Okay, question.
Bhante, number 1 to 5, I think the primary motivation is that, or the primary principle is that you shouldn't harm another person, another being, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So trading in poisons, because medicine can be considered, some medicines.
Medicine.
Yes, can be considered a form of poison. So when you take medicine, you always see the label poisons, etc. So I guess for this sort of medicine that doesn't harm, but in fact can help people, it doesn't come under 5. This is not what the Buddha is referring to, right?
You're right. So when you look at even the medicine, we have a same mixed with the alcohol, sometimes with the poison. If normal people take it, it is dangerous. But for those people who really need it, just like a morphine, right? Morphine, for those who are suffering, I think we should use morphine. Our intention is not to harm that particular patient, but to release from their suffering. And the main point, you're right, the main point of these unrighteous traits is not to harm other people. It is the spirit of taking precept. We are trying to we're trying to abstain from killing. The reason we don't want to harm them. We refrain from stealing. The reason is we don't want them suffer mentally like this. And the main point is not to harm others. You're right. Okay, so this is a example of unrighteous traits or wrong means of livelihood. Just example. There may be For that reason, what the Abhidhamma said is very clear. So in your profession, in your job, if you refrain from 3 types of unwholesome bodily actions, and also 4 types of unwholesome verbal actions, so that consider right livelihood. So if you are committing all these unwholesome actions regarding with the bodily and verbally, that's considered wrong means of livelihood. If you are telling lie in your job, wrong means of livelihood at that moment, at that particular moment. If you are killing, and also if you are stealing in your job, wrong means of livelihood. Okay. Then let's go to the next one. 9 precepts. I think that you have heard of, gradually it's getting bigger and bigger. We are going gradual discourse, right? 5 precepts, 8 precepts, then 9 precepts. 9 precepts is called Navanguposatha, Sīla. According to Navanguposatha Sutta, I didn't share this Sutta. You can take note this one, then you can read by yourself. The reason is it's not much different. So according to Navanguposatha Sutta, in Anguttara Nikaya, chapter 9, Sutta number 80, if we add one more factor, it's called metta, metta cheda, a mind of loving kindness. If you add one more factor into canonical 8 precept, so that is called 9 precept. Navanguposatha, Nava Sīla. Nava Sīla. Nava means 9, Sīla means Sīla. So we have a 8 canonical precept. So I think we don't need to repeat, right? We don't need to repeat. So into 8 canonical precept, we can add one more factor. It's called metta, metta cheda, a mind of loving kindness. It is called Navanguposatha. Uposatha, observe, complete in 9 factors. Let's Tuesday, right? Last Tuesday is our full moon day. Our full moon day. Actually, that full moon day is very particular, very special, because the entire 3-month rain retreats. The Buddhists in the Buddhist countries, so they observe 9 precepts on those special days. As you know, the first day of the 3-month rain retreats, also they observe 9 precepts, not 5 precepts, not 8 precepts. So they add another one. It's called metta cheda, a mind of loving kindness. So the whole day, they will live with the mind of loving kindness to all sentient beings. So that is very meaningful. They will observe 9 precepts. So the last one is recited as follows. Mitta sahagatena chedasa sapapana buddhesu fretva vihara samadhiyami. I undertake to dwell with the mind, imbued with the loving kindness toward all living beings. Today, I will live with a mind of loving kindness to all sentient beings. Very meaningful. So on that day, no anger, no hatred, no resentment at all. Whoever in your environment, the whole universe, so you live with the mind of loving kindness. Actually, this is not a Sīla, it is a bhavana, mental training. So regarding with the metta or loving kindness, so we will study next year in detail. But this year we are learning just Sīla. So even though we use 9 precepts, so the last one, a mind of loving kindness, is not actual metta. It is a meditation, mental training. I undertake to dwell with the mind imbued with loving kindness. When you read the Sutta, you will see that to the east directions, north, west, and south directions, above and below, across. So you imbue or you live with the mind of loving kindness to all sentient beings living in all directions. So that is very meaningful, and also I think that the Buddha used, for that reason, the Buddha used that here in noble disciple dwells pervading one quarter with the mind imbued with loving kindness. Likewise, the second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, that means east, west, and south and north. And thus, above and below, across and everywhere, to all, right? As to himself, just like himself, just like herself. He dwells pervading the entire world with the mind imbued with loving kindness, vast, very wide, exalted, measureless, there's no measure, no limit. Without enmity, there's no enmity, no anger, no resentment in your mind. Without ill will, even the slightest ill will. So you have to, sometimes there might be, when you're seeing something, you might have a slight ill will in your mind, slight dislike in your mind. Even such type of ill will, you have to drive them away. So that is living close to wholesome deed, Uposatha, right? Uposatha. It's very meaningful. On the special days, especially in the special days, so you can observe 9 precepts. Just like a Vissā day, right? Vissā day is a special day for us. So you can observe 9 precepts. Not only 5, not only 8, 9 precepts. The whole day you live with a mind of loving kindness. Very meaningful. Question? Okay.
Bhante, this one you have to chant, then you have to recite, then you can take the precept. And let's say you don't recite, can you take the precept?
Reciting is buying a ticket. Practicing is taking a flight,
Okay.
right?
Then earlier on you say that if you can't take 8 precepts, you can take 7 precepts. That means you chant, you exclude the one that you can't undertake, and then you just exclude that one.
Can, yeah. So your 7 precepts, it becomes 7 precepts, right? 7 precepts. For that reason, there are some alcoholic drunkard, right? Some drunkards. So when they are taking 5 precepts, so when we are chanting Sura Meriya Machapamaratana, he will not recite. You still have a 4, right? It's better than none.
Okay, last question. You mentioned earlier that it has to be, when you recite, it has to come from the east. Can it be north, south, east, west? The direction doesn't
yes.
matter.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But the mind is very systematic. So if you are following the same system, it will be quite better. It will be better. Normally we start Pali Canon start with the east and west, south and north. It goes like this. I don't know why. But if you are convenient, you can go
North, south.
east, south, west, north, above and below. The most important thing is to develop and to cultivate a mind of loving kindness, a mind of compassion, a mind of altruistic joy, and a mind of equanimity. But here, even though the Buddha talk about metta, so we have to practice compassion, altruistic joy, and equanimity as well. So when the Buddha is talking only loving kindness in the Pali Canon, it means 4 Brahma Vihara. 4 Brahma Vihara. It's very important to take note that. Normally, metta or loving kindness cover everything. It covers compassion, it covers altruistic joy, it covers equanimity. Very important, very important. Okay, so let's go next one. Now, 10 precept. Not for lay devotees, for novices. For novices. Some people also, they take 10 precept. 10 precept. So here, 10 precept for novices. For those who want to know more about 10 precept, you can read the book called Discipline, volume 4, page number 105. A person under 20 is not granted as a bhikkhu. But here, bhikkhu means a fully ordained monk. You cannot call bhikkhu samanera. Samanera and bhikkhu are different. When you are talking about bhikkhu, that means a fully ordained monk. So here, only for those who are 20, so they became a fully ordained monk. Under 20, samanera. Actually, we can count together with 10 men in the mother's womb. So that means when you are 90 and normally 3 men, not 2 men. 90 and 3 men, you can ordain as a fully ordained monk. Actually, some people they want to become a senior. For that reason, they ordain when they are 90 years old and 3 months. Some people, so they wait until they have a fully 20. So it depends on the individual, right? So even though they are 90 years old and 3 months, so they can ordain. So we count 10 months in the mother's womb. Sometimes we give birth with a 9 months. 9 months, not 10 months. For that reason, in case we count 3 months, right? So then only it was safe, right? It was safe. But here, so under 20, it's not granted as a bhikkhu because the reason is he cannot stand the weather, he cannot stand the food like this as a young man, right? For that reason, they have to wait under 20. But they can ordain as a samanera. We can call it novice monk. So as a samanera, so they have to mainly follow 10 precepts. So this is a main precept for them. But they also have other precepts. So just like rules and regulations, and also their duties, their responsibilities, so they have to do in the Vinaya Pitaka. But 10 precept is their main rules and regulations. So as a samanera, so we have to repeat after our master at least once a week, so that we make sure that we are following 10 precepts. So we can call it 10 precepts are observed by novices. Nowadays, Theravada Buddhist monks are not allowed bhikkhuni order. So there is only 10 precept nuns, right? 10 precept nuns in the most of the Buddhist countries. So especially in Myanmar and Thailand, so strictly prohibited. So they don't allow, especially the Sangha committee, they do not allow bhikkhuni order. But as a women, so they became Buddhist nun, and they in Sri Lanka they call it Dasa. Dasa means the one who observes 10 precepts. The Buddhist nun who observes 10 precepts. But if you become a bhikkhuni, you have a lot of precepts, right? A lot of precepts. From the first to sixth precept are the same as the canonical 8 precept. So as you all know that we have 8 precept, canonical 8 precept. So from first to sixth, they are the same. They are the same. But the 7th precept is divided into 2. As a lay devotees, so when you're observing 8 precept, so you have to chant very long rules and regulations. So as a samanera, so they divide that 7 precept into 2. And they will add, we have to add another more precept. So that is abstaining from gold and silver, but including money. So we have to add this one. Normally, if we add one more factor into the 8 canonical 8 precept, that becomes 10. Normally, it's not a 10, it is only 9, right? But 7 is divided into 2. In that way, it became 10 precept. As a samanera, as a nuns, of course, as a Buddhist monk, have to refrain, abstaining from the use of gold and silver, including money. That is a precept, right? That is a precept. Then from number 1 to number 6, so they are the same with the canonical 8 precept. From number 7, I undertake the precept to abstain from dancing, singing, instrumental music, and unsuitable shoes. Now we are talking about novice monks, not fully ordained monks. Fully ordained monks totally have to refrain from them as well. So this is number 7. Number 8, I undertake the precept to abstain from adorning, beautifying themselves by wearing garlands and applying scents and unguents. So that is a number 7 and number 8 is only divided into 2. So that is a 7 precept in the canonical 8 precept. Number 9, I undertake the precept to abstain from the use of high and luxurious bed. This is the same, right? The same in the canonical 8 precept. Number 10, I undertake the precept to abstain from accepting gold and silver. Accepting gold and silver. Then we will use it. Gold and silver. And we will study later. This one. So this is a 10 precept for the novices nowadays, for the Buddhist nuns in the Buddhist countries, for those who are not bhikkhuni. Any question? I think clear, right? Let's go next one. Regarding with the gold and silver, I have shared the Sutta from Samyutta Nikaya. Samyutta Nikaya, chapter 42, Sutta number 10. Manichulaka Sutta. Manichulaka Sutta. So in this Sutta, so at that time, this took place in the Rajagaha. So in the king's palace, King Bimbisara palace. So people before the king came, people are talking about this one. So as a Buddhist monk, some people said that gold and silver are allowable for the ascetics, following Sakyan San. Ascetics following the Sakyan San consent to gold and silver. The ascetics following the Sakyan San accept gold and silver. So people are in the Orient. So the people are talking that, so as a Buddhist monks, so they are using gold and silver, including money, right? Including money. So Manichuleka, one of the headmen, said that gold and silver are not allowed for the Buddhist monk. So it is nothing to do with Buddhist monk. As a Buddhist monk, so as the son of the Buddha, so they are not supposed to use gold and silver. They are not supposed to accept gold and silver, including money. So the people do not agree on him. Keep on saying that, yes, they are taking, they are accepting gold and silver and the money. But he couldn't convince those Orients. Then afternoon, he went to the Buddha and asked whether what he said is right. And the Buddha said that, yes, you're right. What you say is logical. You are saying what I said. The Buddha said this one. If gold and silver are allowable for anyone, the 5 causes of sensual pleasures, 5 objects of sensual pleasures are allowable for him. So as a Buddhist monk, we have to control our eye, our ear, nose, tongue, the body, right? These are 5 causes of sensual pleasures. So the Buddha always admonish, we have to control our 5 senses. If somebody say that gold and silver, including money, is allowable for Buddhist monks, it is allowable to enjoy sensual pleasures. If you say that gold and silver and money are allowable for Buddhist monks, it implies that they can enjoy sensual pleasures. Then the Buddha said, if the 5 causes of sensual pleasures are allowable for anyone, you can definitely consider him to be one who does not have the character of an ascetic, a character of a monk, or a nun, or a follower of the Sakyan San, the follower of the Buddha. If you say that, the monks and nuns can enjoy sensual pleasures. If you say that, if the monks and nuns are enjoying sensual pleasures, they don't have the character of Buddhist monk. They don't have character of Buddhist nun. And they cannot say the son and the daughter of the Buddha. And if you look at this one, very clear, right? So here, the gold, silver, the money, not allowed for Buddhist monks and nuns. And the Buddha said that straw may be sought by one needing straw. If a monks and nuns, if they need straw, they can see it, right? They can seek it. If they need timber, they can seek after it, right? Seek after it. The Buddha said that. But I do not say that there is any method by which gold and silver may be consented to or sought. And then if you look at this one, so as the Buddhist monks and Buddhist nuns, so they can ask for straw, timber. Here the Buddha said that not only timber, then how to say, I do know, how to say, summarize a little bit. Store, if they need a cart, they can look after, they can ask for cart. If they need a workman, if you need volunteer men or women, right, you can see it. The Buddha said that, but I do not say that there is any method by which gold and silver may be considered to or sought after. There is no any method, there's no method to use gold and silver or to use money. There's no excuse. There's no excuse as a Buddhist monk. So if the Buddhist monk is using gold and silver, then including money, it's not. There's no characteristics of a monk. There is. We cannot call the son of the Buddha or the daughter of the Buddha. So if you look at this sutta, it's very obvious, right? Very obvious. So we can understand that gold and silver and any type of valuable things, including money. If you look at this sutta, even the bank account, not allowed. I think the man shouldn't possess if he is called a real monk. It doesn't mean that I'm not telling the monks are not real. But here, if you just look at this one, so we have to understand different level, right? Different level of the monks and Buddhist nuns. If the monks and nuns are following Vinaya rules and teachings of the Buddha, they have to follow all, right? Including not to handle the money. Even the even the bank account is considered as a by any method, right? By any method, not allowed to use it. Not allowed to use it. But here I will cite the rules and regulations that is mentioned in the Vinaya Pitaka. So in the Vinaya Pitaka, the Buddha said that wherever monk should take gold and silver, or should get another to take it for him. But here, the Buddha not allowed to use to take gold and silver or money, or on behalf of other, right? On his behalf, couldn't assign someone elsewhere, or should consent to its being kept in deposit for him. So there is an offense of expiation involving forfeiture. Actually, according to this sutta, so the monks or nuns is not allowed to take gold and silver and money, and also not allowed to tell someone and you accept the money on behalf of me. And also, even if somebody put in front of you, not allowed to consent or not allowed to feel it. It's very strict, right? Very strict. But we can use it as a caveat. So we don't have to say anything. If somebody donate money or gold and silver, so the caveat will take care of it. If you say something, it's not allowable. You cannot use it anymore. So suppose if you accept the money, and if you tell somebody and you take it on behalf of me, so not allowed to use it. Have to give away other people, other monks. Have to give that money or that gold and silver to the Sangha. And Sangha have to appoint one capier to handle this one. If somebody say, you buy something for me, that means not allowed to use it. So according to Vinaya, it's very strict. I think if you look at this one, the book of discipline, it will be quite clear. So one time, one of the men usually go Penapada in one family. So that family is very generous, and so if they have some special things, so they reserve for that monk. So one day they cook meat as a dinner, so they reserve one portion for that monk. So they eat the rest. So in the early morning, the children, one of the baby boy, crying out, asking for the meat that he had in as a dinner. So there is only one portion reserved for that monk. So as the baby is keep on asking, so they give that portion of meat to the boy. So when the monk came in the morning, the gentleman told to the monk, "Last night we cooked meat and we reserved one portion for you. But early in the morning, the young boy crying out, asking for the meat, and we give away, thinking that so when that man can, we will buy something for him. We will buy something for him with the money." So that man said, "You already gave back that money for me?" And the gentleman said, "Yes, we already decided to offer that money for you." So that man said that, "You don't need to buy anything, just offer that money to me." So the gentleman, he doesn't like, but he offered the money to the man, and he desperate to that man. "How come?" So the man accept the money. As a Buddhist man, not allowed gold and silver, including money. So the Buddha knew it. So the Buddha laid down these Vinaya rules. So as a Buddhist man, not allowed to accept money, and also not allowed to tell someone to accept it. But for that reason, as a Buddhist man, to have a very clever kappiya, someone who handles all these things on behalf of the monk, is very important. So if he is not clever, if he does not know, it will get into trouble. For that reason, so there are many occasions, so the kappiya misuse the money, so that we are offered to the monks. So for that reason, it's very important to appoint someone who is very clever and someone who is very trustworthy, right? Trustworthy. So even one story happened at the time of the Buddha. So one of the ministers offered the money to the Buddhist monk. So he said that, so the money is not allowed for the Buddhist monk. So that minister asked for someone to buy the robe for him. So the monks show one of the guy who is walking the monasteries. So the minister handed over the money and told him if the monk need the robe, buy for him. So when the monk need the robe, the monk will approach that gentleman, and he said that I need the robe. So that gentleman keep on telling, wait 1 day and wait 1 week. So for that reason, the kappiya, a lot of problem. So the Buddha allowed to ask, twice. I think twice. If the man cannot ask for 3 times, and we have to forget about it. So we are not allowed to ask for 4 times. So that is also Vinaya rules. So here, so what I want to point out is, as a Buddhist monks and nuns, so any gold, silver, any type of money, any type of valuable things. So they are not allowed to use it. They are not allowed to accept it. So that is a very important precept as a Buddhist monk. But I think 99% of the monks are not following. They are not following, they still accept the money. So I think it's very important to understand in such a way that a different level of Buddhist monk, right? Some are following the rules and regulation of the Buddha 100%, but some are following 75%. Some are following 50%. I think we have to look at it in that way, right? But regarding with the money and regarding with the gold and silver, I think that only a few monks they are following, but I think we should pay respect to them, because it's not. I think if you do not accept gold, silver, or money, I think it is very important step as a Buddhist monk, because the money, later I will show you that the money or gold and silver make someone define their mind, right? Because of the money, and they can distort. They can be they will distort. So this is one of the greatest defilement in their mind. Okay. Then just look at what the Bhikkhu Bodhi said. And Bhikkhu Bodhi said that in the Vinaya, and third volume, page number 238, silver is more broadly defined as including coins made out of silver, copper, wood. Sometimes the money is made out of wood, right? Sometimes made out of legs, or whatever serves as a medium or exchange. Medium or exchange, whatever it is. So I think if we look at, if we strictly follow the Vinaya rules, even the bank account, even the Amati cap, may not be, maybe we can consider as a medium or exchange, right? Medium or exchange. So that's the expression gold and silver signify money. So if you look at this particular Vinaya rules, the commentary define, right? The commentary define. I think because of that, if we look at the history of Second Buddhist Council, that is the history. So the monks in the Vachi, so they are collecting money. So by that time, one of the Arahant monks visit that temple. Then after collecting all the money, they divide how many monks in this temple, and they will give away each portion. So Venerable Yasa, he doesn't accept it. He said that the money is not allowable for the Buddhist monk, but the monks in the Vesali or Vachi, the monks Vesali or Vachi, right? The monks from Vachi, so they keep on telling that it's okay. For that reason, I think this is the beginning of Second Buddhist Council, right? But nowadays, I think accepting money and handling money became a piece of cake. But if you want to follow the Vinaya rules, 100%, right? Not allowed. Then one of the Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha said that 4 defilements of a spiritual person. So there are 4 defilements. The first one, drinking liquor and wine, intoxicants, right? If the monk is drinking alcohol, beer or anything, it is a defilement as a spiritual person, right? Number 2, indulging in sexual intercourse. So as a spiritual person, you have to refrain from sexual intercourse, right? Sexual intercourse. Even the same theistic religions, so the priests, right? So there is two traditions. One tradition said that as a priest, Christian priest, not allowed to have any type of sexual intercourse. So they celibacy, right? They observe celibacy. So the Buddha said that as a spiritual person, here spiritual person means ascetics or Brahmin, indulging in sexual intercourse is a defilement. Number 3, accepting gold and silver. According to Vinaya commentaries, including many, right? Including many. Accepting gold and silver. Number 5, earning their living by wrong livelihood. I think for those who want to know wrong livelihood for the Buddhist monk, you can read Brahmajala Sutta, the first Sutta of Digha Nikaya. So these are 4 defilements. But I think that as a normal Buddhist monk, number 2 and number 1 are very important, I think, right? Of course, number 3 also very important. But if you still can refrain from number 1 and number 2, drinking liquor and wine, indulging in sexual intercourse, I think that considered as a good monk, right? A good monk. But the Sutta, in the Sutta, the Buddha just said, have to follow rules and regulations 100%, right? Just like the Suttas in Majjhima Nikaya, if somebody is cutting your body with a saw, you don't have to have any anger and resentment by that time. So that means following his teaching 100%. But of course, if you do not accept gold and silver and money, the best, right? The best. And number 4, earning their living by wrong livelihood. So these are 4 defilements for spiritual person, right? Spiritual person. Any question? Any question? The last time, 2014, when I teach about this Sutta, then I asked the audience, what do you think? As a Buddhist monk, it is all right to accept the money? And many students said that if you cannot handle the money, you will have a lot of problems. You cannot go alone, and you cannot buy books, etc., right? There will be a lot of problems as a Buddhist monk. It will be very difficult to have a good career. Actually, one of the famous monks in Myanmar, so when people ask, as a Buddhist monk, it is all right not to accept money. That Sayadaw said that nowadays it is very difficult to have a good career. A good reason. Yeah? But here in the Sutta, the Buddha said, by any method, right? There is no excuse at all. No excuse at all. If you want to follow 100% teachings of the Buddha as a Buddhist monk, not allowed. But if nowadays 99% or maybe at least 95%, right? Anyway, we have to understand, right? Understand. As long as they are not drinking, as long as they are not indulging in sexual intercourse, we still have to accept. And as long as they are earning their livelihood in the right way, and then we still have another 3. Consider as a good monk. But if the monk is drinking alcohol and engaging in sexual intercourse, gone, right? And then consider it a very bad one. Okay, so I think that as a Buddhist, you should know this one. But most of the monks are not following these rules, but we have to understand, right? We have to understand. But if the monks are doing number 1 and number 2, very bad, right? Very bad. So by the time when I ask the student, they say, it's all right. But according to the not all right, right? According to the Sutta, not all right. Question? Okay, so let's go. And let's go to the Sīlas for monks and nuns. So now we just talk about the precept for lay devotees and precept for novices. Now, Sīla for monks and nuns. All the rules and regulations mentioned in Vinaya Pitaka are formulated for monks and nuns. Vinaya Pitaka mainly contains rules and regulations on the order of Buddhist monks and nuns, right? That is very clear. When we talk about Sīla, it is also monastic legal procedures for ordination. That's also Sīla. And also the rules and regulations, legal procedure for observing 3 months rain retreat. And also celebrating Katina and settling of disputes. So all these rules and regulations and legal procedures are mentioned in Vinaya Pitaka, right? So all these are also considered as a Sīla. So there are 227 major rules for Buddhist monks and 311 major rules for Buddhist nuns or bhikkhuni, right? Bhikkhunis, according to Theravada. So they are slight different, 1 or 2, right? Slight different in other schools as well. According to Visuddhimagga, chapter 1, paragraph number 44, so there are 91 billions. How to count it? I don't know how to count it. Mr. Chin. 36,000. Maybe I might say that almost 92 billion rules and regulations. If we count all the rules and regulations of Vinaya Pitaka, that this is a Visuddhimagga set, right? Visuddhimagga said that altogether almost 92 billion rules and regulations. All these rules and regulations are laid down in order to control bodily and verbal behaviors, not to do any evil deed with the body and speech, right? And to do good with body and speech. So that is called Sīla. So Visuddhimagga, almost 92 billions, right? Not really easy. So that is a Sīla as a Buddhist monk, right? As a Buddhist monk, 227 main rules. So there are many other rules as well. So as a bhikkhuni or Buddhist nuns, 311 major rules. Sigālovāda Sutta, Digha Nikāya, Sutta number 31. So this Sutta is very important for lay devotees. The most comprehensive teachings of the Buddha regarding with the ethic or social responsibilities for lay devotees can be found in this Sutta. Sigālovāda Sutta. Many of you know that. Therefore, the commentary said that this Sutta is called Gihi Vinaya. The Vinaya for lay devotee. Ki means lay devotees. So Vinaya rule for lay devotees. So we have a Vinaya rules for Buddhist monks and nuns. So Vinaya rules for lay devotees. Commentary said that Kihi Vinaya. The reason is in this Sutta, the Buddha talk about 5 duties of the parents, 5 duties of the children, 5 duties of the teacher, 5 duties of the students, etc. Right, etc. All these responsibilities or duties or ethical context are mentioned in Sigālovāda Sutta. For that reason, it's called Kihi Vinaya. The Vinayas or discipline for lay devotees. So this Sutta is named after a young man called Sigāla. Actually, in Sri Lanka they call it Sigāla. But in Myanmar, we call it Sigāla, slightly different. Sigāla is a PTS and Myanmar version. So there are many variations of its name. Sigāla, Thai and Sri Lanka. Sigālovāda, it means homely to Sigāla. And Sigāla, Myanmar version. And Sigālovāda, advice to Sigāla, PTS. So these are a lot of variations, right? For those who want to know, you can go to library. So we have a lot of books, a different translation, right? Different translation. Okay. Now, 3 categories under Sīla. The commentary mentioned that we have a 3 types of morality as a part of the basis of meritorious deed. So when we are doing meritorious deed, regarding with the morality or Sīla, 3 types. Number 1, morality that we are learning now. Number 2, respect, paying respect to other people. It's also called consider morality, Sīla. The number 3, service. You are giving your service for the people to the temple. It's also considered as a Sīla according to commentary, right? According to commentary. Actually, we have learned earlier before we learn Sīla. So actually, what we have learned is a morality, right? Morality. But here, respect, apachayana, service, vyavasa, these 2 also considered as a Sīla. Then talk about 2 aspects of respect. So regarding with the respect, so we have a 2 aspects. It is very important for in our social life. Number 1, paying respect to the seniors. So paying respect to your parent, to your teacher, elderly people, that's considered as a Gārava and Mangala Sutta. 2 aspects. Another one is paying respect to the juniors. You respect to the junior as well. They listen to their advice and they are treating them with the respect. So that is called nivada. In English, we can call it humility. Some people, they do not take care of the junior, right? So as a respect, so if you pay respect to the junior or seniors, that's considered as a Sīla. That is a part of Sīla. Regarding with the service, vyavasa is very important. And then providing or giving your service to the society is very important. It is considered as a Sīla, is higher than dana, right? And then I'm so grateful to the cameraman and also our contact person. For those who are helping this class, make possible. I think without them, we cannot do such a the whole year, right? So their service, their Vayavacha is very important. Even greater than dana, giving, right? It is Sila and the Sīla. We are dependent on each other. We need services from others. And also at the same time, it's important for us to give our service one way or another. That is very important. Otherwise, so we cannot do many things. For that reason, for me, I really value in working in the organization. It's very important as an individual person, working with different people, not really easy, right? Even though we don't want to follow their advice with if many people want to do it, so we have to follow. And then working in a society is very important. So we have to practice, we have to give our patience, and we have to give our service, and also we have to tolerate if we do not like, even if we do not like it, right? Not really easy. For that reason, service is very important. Charities Aid Foundation, so it's based in US, reports World Giving Index every year. World Giving Index every year. So they survey the whole world, many countries, and they give this report. The report taught CAF includes questions about 3 different types of giving behavior. I think we should have learned this one when we are talking about dana, right? Based on they were asked the questions based on 3 different types of giving behavior. Number 1, helping a stranger. Normally, we don't want to help a stranger, right? So that is quite obvious. But if you are willing to help them, you will giving or generosity in your heart, right? So this is the first criteria. The second one is donating money. Of course, this is donating money is a giving, right? But third one, volunteering time. That's very important. So you sacrifice your time and your effort, volunteering for the many people, right? So this is based on 3 qualities, criteria, they decide which country is the most generous. Normally they have 10 countries which are the most generous country in the world, and 20 countries, right? 20 countries. Myanmar is the first. Even though the country is very poor, they have these qualities, helping a stranger. So they ask so many questions. Many people, based on those surveys, they decide which country is the most generous in the world. Myanmar, I think, almost about 5 years successively. Number 1 is helping a stranger. So if one stranger is in need of your help, you are ready to help them, right? Donating money, it does not depend on how much you have and the generosity in your heart, right? Willing to give. And number 3 is volunteering time. It's very important, right? Volunteering time. Not really easy, right? People will give away their money, but really difficult to sacrifice their time, their effort. So for that reason, so there are only a few volunteers. Actually, we have only a few volunteers, right? So here, what I want to point out is volunteering time or giving your service is among the Sīla, higher than dana. I think you can cultivate your mind to volunteer, right? To volunteer your time. Now we are Inito cameraman. For those you want to volunteer next year, right? Next year. Okay, so now let's go next one. 5 benefits of morality. 5 benefits of morality. Number 1, if you have a Sīla or morality, number 1, you accumulate much wealth because of heedfulness, because of your mindfulness. So you accumulate a lot of wealth. But if you are violating, if you are breaking precept, and you will lose a lot of wealth, right? Suppose you are killing, you are stealing, you are engaging in sexual misconduct, so you will lose your wealth one way or another, right? One way or another. Number 2, acquire a good reputation. If you have a virtuous behavior, you have a reputation and fame among your friends, among your, in your environment. Number 3, approach the assembly confidently and composed. If you have a Sīla, moral good conduct, you are not afraid to go among the people. You have a full confidence to go and approach a lot of people. But if you commit, if you break the linear rules, just like a killing, right? Stealing, no confidence to go. Also, having confidence to approach assembly, also one of the benefits of the morality. Number 5, you will die and confused. For those who want to have a good let's stop moment, you have to keep precept, right? Not to break the precept, at least 5 precepts. Then you will die and confused. Number 5, you were reborn in a good destination, just like a heaven, right? So that is the result of having Sīla. Actually, this is a normal level, right? It's a basic level of the benefit of Sīla. If you keep 5 precepts, 8 precepts, you will have all these ones, right? You have all these ones. So these are benefits of moral virtues. If you break the Sīla, you will lose all these ones, right? You will lose all these ones. You will die, a lot of confusion, perplexity, a lot of doubt. And you will have, you will lose your reputation and fame. So you dare not to go, among the assembly. So these are lack of, the moral, not having Sīla, right? Not having Sīla. Then let's go to next Sutta. It's called Akinkeya Sutta. So the Sutta that I have is share, right? Majjhima Nikāya, Sutta number 6. Majjhima Nikāya, Sutta number 6. The name of the Sutta is Akinkeya. Akinkeya means if you wish. If you wish. The Buddha said that if a bhikkhu wish. So here, when you see the word bhikkhu, that means advanced level, right? Advanced level. Of course, as a lay devotee, you can also practice just like a Buddhist monk, just like a Buddhist nun, right? So when you see the word a bhikkhu, that means very advanced, right? The Buddha said, if a bhikkhu wish to win love and affection from your companions and friends, if a Buddhist monk want love and compassion from other monks, right? Other monks. To get 4 requisites, robe, food, dwelling, and medicine, right? If you want to get, as a Buddhist monk, if somebody want to get 4 requisites to bring great fruit and benefit to support us and to see relative. If you want them to have a lot of benefit, right? Very fruitful in their life, and also to see relative, for their relative. To lead a holy life happily. If a monk, a Buddhist monk, Buddhist nuns, so when they want to live their life, their holy life happily, as a Buddhist monk, so if they want to be happy in their life, as a Buddhist monk, right? As a Buddhist monk. Actually, it's not really easy to lead a holy life. A lot of restrictions, right? A lot of restrictions. If you are not happy, not really easy, right? To transcend fear and death. Sometimes you have a lot of fear and dread, right? A lot of fear and dread. If you want to transcend them, if you wish to obtain jhanas, if you want to become Sotapanna, if you want to become a once returner, if you want to become a non-returner, if you want to attain, if a bhikkhu wishes to attain various miracles, a abhiññāna, if a monk wishes to become an arahant, the Buddha said that, let him fulfill the precept. Number 1, let him fulfill the precept. Number 2, be devoted to internal serenity of the mind. So that means samatha. Samatha. Not neglect meditation. This is also samatha. Be possessed of insight. Insight means vipassana. Dwell in empty head. So here, empty head means a quiet place. Quiet place. So if a Buddhist monk want to have all these things that I have said, have to fulfill the precept. Have to devote in samatha and vipassana. Have to live in a quiet place, right? Not a crowded place. So that is and then if you look at this order, Sīla is very important. First, we have to fulfill the precept. Practice the Sīla, right? Then last one, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of observing precept? And then this one will be the last suttas in the sutta under the Sīla, right? Under the Sīla. So why we are observing precept? So the Buddha talk about the purpose. The purpose of observing precept. Why we are observing precept? What is the purpose and benefit of wholesome virtuous behavior? But here, wholesome virtuous behavior means a good Sīla. Good Sīla. And the Buddha said that. But the purpose and benefit of virtuous behavior is no regret. The reason why we are observing precept, the reason is not to have regret or not to have a remorse in our life. If you kill somebody, you have a regret. If you steal, if you commit sexual misconduct, if you drink alcohol, if you tell lie, you will regret and you have a remorse, right? If you observe all these Sīla, if you refrain from them, so in this way you observe precept. By observing precept, you will not have regret or remorse, and you will live a pure life. That is the purpose of Sīla. What is the purpose of non-regret? is to have a joy. That is, actually the word joy is a very, how to say, difficult to pronounce. You can see this one, joy, right? Joy. So if you do not have a regret or remorse, you'll be very happy, right? You'll be very happy. That is because of Sīla. If you are happy and you have a rapture, if you have a rapture, you have a tranquility of the mind. If your mind is tranquil, you will feel pleasure, right? You have a pleasure in your body. If you have a pleasure, you have a concentration, samadhi. If your mind is concentrated, you will have the knowledge and vision of things as they really are. You will see the real nature of everything. If your mind is concentrated, and you will see the nature of your mind, the nature of your body, right? Starting from Sīla. Then if you have this one, the knowledge and vision of things as they really are, and you will have disenchantment or dispassion. So because you have a lot of passions, a lot of attachment, because you do not know the real nature of things. But if you know the real nature of things, you will not have attachment, you will not have a passion. If you don't have them, you have the knowledge and vision of liberation. The knowledge and vision of liberation is nothing but understanding and seeing Nibbana. So starting from Sīla, if you don't have a Sīla, if you have a Sīla, no regret. No regret, you have a joy. If you have a joy, rapture. Because of rapture, tranquility. Because of tranquility, the pleasure. Because of pleasure, concentration. Because of concentration, the knowledge and vision of things as they really are. Because of that, disenchantment and dispassion. Because of that, the knowledge and vision of liberation. That is Nibbana. Seeing Nibbana, right? Seeing Nibbana. So I think that for that reason, in the Samyutta Nikaya, the Buddha said that based on standing on Sīla, we have to practice Samadhi and Panya. Sīla, Samadhi, Panya. So we must have a foundation. Foundation is nothing but Sīla. So if we have a Sīla, based on Sīla, standing on Sīla, we can practice concentration or samatha. And based on samatha, we can practice panya or vipassana, right? So that is nothing but the Noble Eightfold Path, right? The Noble Eightfold Path. So next year, we will learn the Noble Eightfold Path as a meditation, right? As a meditation. Okay? Question? One question? If you want. I did. Nobody went, right? Okay, so we have an announcement for the
brother and sister, I have an announcement. First of all, the coming Monday on 29, Bhante Cakkapala will be giving a talk on contentment. Then on the 12th of November is also another Monday. Will be Bhante Ashin Kelasa going to talk on the Vipassana meditation. Yeah, all are welcome. The location is here, 7:30 to 9:30 for both talks. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, especially for those who are coming to the class. It's not really easy, right, to come the whole year. Thank you so much. Yo varatam bhavaro manutesu sa Sakya Muni Bhagavakata Kecho Paragato Bala Viriya Samangi Dan Sukatan Saranatamu Ragavi Ragamani Dhammasokan Dhammamasamgata Mapatikula Madurami Mambagunan Suvipada Dhammamimam Saranatamu Pemi Yatacha Dena Mahapalamahu Chatusu Susi Supuri Sayugesu Atacha Bogala Dhammadasati Sangami Mansara Natamu Bemi Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Good night everyone.